This year I'm going to try something different with my greenhouse, and I plan to make it cosy and improve the soil in the growing bed there, all with one activity that I'm going to do now. So join me as I hope to improve my greenhouse this winter. Over the last few weeks, I've created an awful lot of waste from the garden, and I filled up my compost heap. Now I could make a new one next to where the old one is, or I could try something different. So I'm trying something different. I'm going to create a compost pile in my greenhouse. What's the worst that could happen? I provide a mulch for the garden bed to stop weeds growing, but the best case would be that I create lovely, fresh, garden gold compost right in the centre of my cutting patch and heat the greenhouse at the same time. Either way, both are wins for me. So the growing bed in the greenhouse really needs rejuvenating. I add compost to it each year, but it just, I think, takes its toll. The volunteer marigolds that grow there must take a lot out of the soil, along with the tomatoes that I grow each year. So it does really look dry and undernourished at the moment. So instead of replacing the soil, building a layer of compost, a good thick layer of compost there, might help improve things. And a winter of it gaining all of those worms and microorganisms, etc., that compost produces, might do it the world of good. So that's why I'm going to do it there. I have also read by creating a compost or a hotbed in your greenhouse, it creates heat, the name gives it away, to help heat the greenhouse for free. Now I don't really have that much of a problem in my greenhouse because I'm not growing too many tender plants. I'm growing hardy annuals which should survive a cold snap. But that should is when they're in the ground rather than when they're in plastic cells growing, so they might need a bit more protection. So, if it provides a bit of heat, then that will be fantastic. I'm interested to see whether it does, because my compost heaps, whilst initially they generate heat, they don't stay warm for long. So if I'm starting now, end of September, beginning of October, I wonder whether there will still be heat in it come the colder months, but we shall see. So that's my plan. So let's get going. So I've made a start. If I was being perfect about creating compost, I'd have the perfect proportions of green and brown, or nitrogen and carbon. But I haven't got time for all of that, and there is quite a mix of stuff in here. So I'm kind of figuring as long as it's mixed enough, then there will be sufficient proportions of everything. So I've got all of the weeds and debris from the remains of the main garden beds. I've got the apples from the orchard. It's smelling a little fruity in here. I'm hoping that will die down. I have got some blanket weed and things like that from the pond that I've scraped out, and I've still got to add in all of the cutbacks of everything in the cutting patch. So all of the snapdragons, the dahlia toppings when they're finished, everything once it's finished will be going in here, along with some grass cuttings, which again we've got probably 3 or 4 cuts yet before winter starts. So there is still a lot to go in here. I am a little nervous about how high I take this. The greenhouse itself should be quite strong. It's whether the glass is, but it won't be high for long because as it decomposts down, it does sink quite a lot. So, well, I've done it now. Let's hope it's not too much for the greenhouse to take. I shouldn't think it will. Again, if I was being perfect about this, I would have built a frame for it all to go in. I haven't, so we are where we are. At the moment, the temperature is 12 degrees. So nothing's heating up, but I have just put it in there. I can guarantee as soon as I put grass clippings in there, the temperature will whoosh up. However, that's now. It's maybe not going to be the case in December, so I'm interested to see how that goes. But despite the cider smell in here, I'm really pleased, and I feel that this is going to be a good thing. Certainly a good thing for this bed. I really do think that it's going to benefit it. And I won't need to use this bed until March, April, so that's 6 months. So the compost in 6 months, I'm hoping, will be good enough. If there's a lot, then it will cover this bed and I'll be able to take it out into the cutting patch with minimum effort. It's literally there, a few steps. So that would be fantastic. It does beg the question why I haven't got a compost heap in the cutting patch. And I did start off with one in here, which was over there where I have my seedling bay area when they're hardening off. But maybe it's at the cost of another bed. So if it works and it's easy, maybe I consider creating a compost bed over in that corner, because I always seem to forget that corner. But that's for another time. As it stands, I have a layer of all sorts of things in there at the moment. My husband's cutting the grass this afternoon, so by the end of the day I will have grass on there. I will be mixing the grass with straw so that it's not too much all at once, because that's the big problem we have here. We have a lot of grass cuttings, so I'm going to be doing that. But yeah, let's see what happens at the end of the day. So all of the grass clippings are in there, all of the layers of straw to help combat the messy nature of the grass clippings as they die down. I would say that it is maybe 2 to 3 foot high at the moment. That will go down quite a bit, I would think, over the next few days, which hopefully will also mean that the temperature will go up. I have a whole cutting patch to go on top of this, plus there'll be more grass clippings. I have a chair full of straw to combat that. Here's hoping that this works. I'm feeling optimistic. Anyway, it's enough for today. So It's 3 days after the hotbed setup, and I have to say it is certainly steamy in here. We have had probably about 2 or 3 inches of rain since I set it up, so I don't know whether that's adding to the moisture that we have in here, but it is pretty steamy. I'm certainly not going to water any of the seedlings that I've got in here for a while. So I checked the temperature over the preceding 2 days and they were in the 40 mark, but we are now into the hot mark, which is in the, looks like 55 to 70 degrees, and we are currently sitting at around about 60 degrees, which is perfect for killing weed seeds. So actually I'm really happy with what's happening here. How long that temperature will last, I have no idea, but it's certainly warm in here. So hopefully this continues for the next few months. I would imagine it's not going to be as hot as this for the next few months, but it just needs to keep it above freezing, so that would be good. So hopefully it continues. I will give you the results in the spring. Until next time, happy gardening.